Now, the exam questions here might be a little small, so you might want to go look up on Papa Cambridge. I have a tiny URL, tinyurl.com/PapaAice if you want to find it. And this is the November 6th exam. This is paper 1, and this was question 4. So the position vectors of A and B are given like this relative to an origin O. Calculate the angle AO and OB. So as we're starting from the origin, A is actually the same as OA, and B is actually the same as OB. So just remember what this is actually referring to. AOB, we're looking at OA and OB. So we're actually just looking for this first one. This is why it's only 3 points. Calculate the angle between these two. So I got to work out the length of each. So -3 squared plus 6 squared plus 3 squared. So 9 plus 36 plus 9 all square rooted. So that would be the square root of 54. And for this one, it would be the square root of -1 squared, which is 1, plus 2 squared, plus 4 squared, which is the square root of 21. Now I've also got to do the dot product on this as well. So -3 times -1 is 3, plus 6 times 2, which is 12, and 3 times 4, which is 12, giving me a grand total of 27. So if I use the correct formula for this one, I'm going to have cosine theta equals 27 over the square root of 54 and the square root of 21. And if I do inverse cosine on this, then I should actually be able to figure out what that answer is. And you can go check the solutions also on Papa Cambridge if necessary. Okay, part 2 for this one. The point C is such that AC equals 3AB. Find the unit vector in the direction of OC. Now there's kind of a lot of information on here, and that's probably why it's going to be worth 4 points. So let's start to break this down. So if we want to find A to B, we need to know how to get from here to here. So if you do B minus A, that will actually tell you how you get from A to B. So -1 take away -3 is 2. 2 take away 6 is -4. And 4 take away 3 is 1. I, however, don't want AB, I want 3AB. So I need to multiply by 3, and then we can just distribute. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times -4 is -12, and 3 times 1 is 3. So we're starting to piece this together now. Now it says that A to C equals this vector here. So I'm going to leave this here for a second, but I know that my vector -3, 6, 3 going towards this second vector C is actually going to give me this answer. So I'm kind of doing the same thing. When I wanted to find AB, I did B minus A. So when I'm trying to find AC, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do C minus A. So something take away -3 is 6, and I've just got to work out what that linear equation is. And if you're not sure, just write it out. X take away -3 equals 6, and then you can start to solve that equation. Something take away 6 is -12. That will be -6. And something take away 3 is 3, and that would be 6. So I found out what the point C is. Now I need that because I need to know the vector in the direction OC. So although this is vector C by itself, as that starts from the origin, then OC is going to be that same vector. So I got the vector 3, -6, and 6. Now the phrase unit vector means that it's length 1. So if it's going to be in the same direction as this, I know it's going to be some multiple of this vector here. So the first thing I need to do is find out actually how long this vector is. So I'm going back to my 3-dimensional Pythagoras. 3 squared plus -6 squared, which is the same as 6 squared, plus 6 squared, 36, 36, and 3 gives me the square root of 81, which is 9. So this vector is actually 9 units long. As I just want a unit vector, I just need it length 1. So as it's 9 times too big, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to times it by 1/9. And if I distribute the 1/9 through, 1/9 times 3 is 3/9, which is 1/3. 1/9 times -6 is -6/9, which is -2/3. And 1/9 times 6 is 6/9, which is also 2/3. And actually, if you do three-dimensional Pythagoras on this, you will actually find out that the length is indeed 1. Now, other questions I've seen in relation to this is, rather than saying a unit vector, I've seen questions that say, come up with a vector in the same direction as this, but something like, say, length 18. Now the connection between those two things would be, if this is length 9 and this is length 18, it's twice as big, and then you could just multiply all these numbers by 2. So it would be like 6, -12, and 12. So keep an eye out for that type of question as well.